Okay, today we're going to make a folded star hot pad, and it's based on triangles that are placed on top of each other. It's an 8-point star, and we build it on a interfacing template that is custom made for the hot pad, and it's basically a ruler. And the ruler has a grid that has increments already set up so that you can build your star, and they're layered. And so to get started, we're just going to start with the very beginning, and we're going to put a little bit of glue right on the first piece and put it right in place. And we start with 4 little triangles, and we just use a glue stick, and we lay them on layer 1, and we press them gently with the glue toward the middle. And the first 4 that you do establish the 8-point star that you're doing. And we just put them. And there you go. Your first 4 are done. And then we move backwards and we go back to layer 2. We take our next piece and we put glue on it just on the tip, and we move it back, and we're going to do 8 of these. Now the first one was 4, but by moving it back, we're going to establish that little star in the middle. But an 8-point star needs 8 triangles. So at each intersection of the 45 degrees, we're going to put a triangle at exactly the same point on the ruler. So we're going to keep going around this with the brown fabric, with the green fabric, and then with our top fabric. And it's fairly quick if you just use a little bit of glue and you press it right in spot. It goes together and stays together unless you want to change it. And then because it's glue, you can undo it and do something else. Another thing to think about is contrast. You want your star to have a dimension to it, so you have to think when you're doing your star, will these layers show together? And when you get to your last piece, you want to tuck it under, so now we have a pinwheel. And then the next layer that we do, we're going to move it backwards to layer 3. So we're already on layer 3. We're going to do glue. We're going to put it in place. We're going to just put our glue stick. And again, this is a very quick thing. It helps if your triangles are starched and sprayed nice and flat, and they don't start to relax, so that your layers of your fabric are as flat as possible. Okay, we're almost done with layer 3. We got all the way around here, and we're going to tick that under, and that's layer 3. When we do the top layer, layer 4, it's the same thing. We just go right to the end of the template area, use a glue stick and press it. And as soon as we're done with this, we're going to take it to the ironing board and iron it, and then we're going to stitch in the ditch. And that is just a very exciting way to finish it up, because there's no handwork in it. It's very friendly if you are wanting to do something real quick and make it very well, because the stitching in the ditch holds all the layers together without showing your threads. And it also keeps it strong, so that after washing and wearing, those threads aren't going to break. But there's a hot pad put together, and now we would stitch in the ditch. And to do that, and have one already done, we take the hot pad and we open up the layers. And we start at one point, go down, and if we need to, we open up the triangles just a little bit to stitch in the ditch, come all the way through, and stitch all the way to the other side. And we do that 4 times. And each time we do that, we're going to get better at it. And it really helps when you iron your triangles if you leave a little space right at the tip so that that thread will go in there. But at the other side of it, what you can see is that there's only 4 seams. And then we're going to baste it all around the edge, and then we're going to trim off all this extra. And when we do that, we want to get rid of the extra areas of the template and the little dog ears. When we trim it, then we're getting ready to quilt it. And the quilting is as simple or ornate as you wish. What I usually do is I get batting, I get a backing that matches, and I top stitch around the edge so that it layers all the pieces together, but it also shows the star on the back. So it's nice. And you can do 2 layers. You could top stitch more than one, and that looks, well, really nice too. Then you're going to baste around the edge and get rid of the batting, and you're almost done. You're ready to bind it. So we've quilted it, we've cleaned up the edge, and we're ready to add our binding. And the circle binding doesn't need to be biased, but it's very nice if it is. But if it's not, what you do with straight a grain is you take your fabric, you iron your hem first, and then you ease it in gently. You gently pin it every ½ inch, and you ease it in, and this will make it stay in place. It won't stretch it. You gently do it, and when you're done, you sew a ¼ inch seam allowance all the way around, and you come back over your start point and allow about 1 inch over your start point, and then we're going to close that seam up by hand, and that gives us a little tiny handwork. This is pretty much all the handwork except for the binding that you're going to do. And this miter then is nice and neat, and it's almost invisible when you do it. So we have our hot pad here is, you can see what it's like. We've sewed the binding on, we took our pins out, we have our hem, we're going to close this opening up, and then we're going to hem it by hand. And if you wish, you can add a little hanger, and then we hem it on the back with our hand by hand stitching. And that's the hot pad.